Hello, welcome to your all access call. I'm gonna rename myself. There we go. I love seeing all your beautiful faces popping on. Welcome, welcome. Yes, just saw Serena pop on. She is here to co-lead. Let me make you co-host.
Hi, ladies.
Hello.
Hello. Wow, some of you are double dipping today. I love the commitment of this group. Beautiful. Nice to see you again. Some new faces here as well. Megan, it's always an honor to train alongside you. You have so much to share, and I always learn something from you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. I've been looking forward to getting to be here with you, Serena, and with all of you. When we talked about leading this call, one of the things that is so important is just this recognition of you, each and every one of you is in the perfect place right now, whether you've already been with us in Leverage or ELA for a while, or you are just getting started and you're looking for more message clarity. So I just want to invite you to lean into the camera and really look at these other beautiful beings, your sisters who are here with you. We are doing it alongside of each other. Go ahead and unmute yourselves. I'm going to unmute you. And let out a sound that matches how you feel inside right now to be
Yay!
Beautiful. I'm gonna meet you back up for a moment here. All right. If you haven't muted, if it's not working, just go ahead and mute yourself again for the next little bit here, so that you can. And if Serena, you want to unmute yourself.
Yeah, it's always a little wrangle when we let these wild entrepreneurs like shout out and then we need to wrangle back the leadership. So ladies, please help us with that. At the top of your screen, there's a little button where you can unclick and click your own muting. So if you have a question or we ask you to participate, you can just do that. And you'll know you're muted because there will be a red microphone at the bottom of your little tile. That means you're quiet. And when that's not red, that means you're live and in action.
Thank you for that, Serena. Yes, so helpful to get the technology pieces in place. And I know for many of you, this is one of your first calls and you're still finding your bearings here. So we welcome you, like Serena said, to just go ahead and unmute yourself when we call on you for answering a question. And if you're asking a question, on the bottom of your screen, there will be a spot that says participants, and it'll open up a little sidebar where you'll see everyone else and yourself, and you can go and raise your hand on that sidebar. So when you raise your virtual hand, yes, I see you, Julie. When you raise your virtual hand, we know that you're ready for coaching and you want some support. So we are going to give you as much laser coaching support today as we can on your niche and clarity for your next steps. And I really just want to get started with hearing a few wins that you've had. So amidst some of the challenges that we've also been hearing about, I've also been hearing some incredible wins from those of you getting to reach out to your potential clients online at this time. And we'd love to just start off with a couple of you going ahead and sharing your wins. So who wants to share a win? If you're raising your hand right now, I'll assume that's for sharing a win. And if you're going to raise your hand for a question, then just unraise your hand, take it down for the moment, and I'll get you to raise it in a moment. So let's see. Misha Safran, I know that you have just joined us for this new year. I'd love to hear what your win is.
Thank you. I'm so excited. Because of the streaming live, I created a Facebook group for women to celebrate authentic and wholehearted joy, and I have almost 180 members already.
Oh my goodness!
I know, and I'm really excited. I actually danced with them today on a live post. I've been doing live posts every day. I'm just like so excited and happy about it.
I love it. So good. And what's one of the things you've been doing to gather energy towards that group and get people to join you in that group that we could learn from?
Oh, that's a good question, of course. Why we wouldn't ask anything else. I smile a lot. And so I think the live posts are really, really helpful. In fact, I had a friend tell me today that she's not ready to participate yet, but that she comes into my group every day to see my smile. And that felt really, really good. And then she said she would at some point. And all I'm doing really is just saying I accept you wherever you are right now.
So beautiful. Thank you, Misha, for getting us started. Let's give you a kiss. Celebrating you. And let's see. Rachel Cooley, I want to hear your celebration.
Am I on?
Yes.
My celebration is that I started at my second angel certification program on the 6th of April. So we've had 2 classes so far and I'm super excited.
Beautiful. Your second round of group certification.
Yes, and I doubled my group from 3 the first round to 6 this round.
Awesome. Oh my goodness. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mwah.
Thank you, Serena. Thank you, Megan. Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
You're so welcome. Who else? Let's take a couple more shares. Serena, who do we want to hear from?
Let's hear from Renee Vardemore.
Renee, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi, thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited. I just got a new client an hour ago. I was studying the Grow Model all morning. My God, this is the first time I really used it. It works so beautifully. And it was with a former client that I wasn't even calling, but I invited her to my free intuitive workshop yesterday. And she, you know, and thank you, Serena, because you told us, you know, that if somebody's not, you know, calling you back, don't give up on them. Keep sending them stuff, even though they're not returning your emails. So I sent this. I wasn't expecting this woman to jump on my call yesterday, but because I did, and because I gave a lame offer, you know, but at least I did. I gave an offer, and she didn't even know that.
Must not have been that lame.
Offer, but she called me, so you know, now she's my client, and I've got her for 6 months, and it's going to be amazing.
Beautiful, beautiful. Mwah. Oh, Serena.
The money's in the follow-up, ladies. The money's in the follow-up. Don't assume that anyone's a no until they've given you a solid no. Otherwise, they may be doing 100 million distractions and just waiting for your support. Congratulations, Renee. Megan, I'd love to hear from Heather. Hi, Heather. Hi. Go ahead and mute yourself, love. If you go to the top of your screen, those 3 little, you did it.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, I'm just excited and on fire with the coaching I've been getting here and the direction. So I'm really close to launching a new quiz, which is a new lead magnet. And then I just created yesterday a 3-day challenge or training. There's another lead magnet, and I just did an interview in a group where I was able to announce it and start sharing it. So it's exciting, and I'm going to launch my new group program probably June 15th. So I'm just feeling really excited and hopeful and optimistic with, you know, the things that are happening.
Fabulous. Good job getting some shit done, as we like to say around here. Like getting those magnets up.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Let's give you a big kiss. Mwah.
So powerful. Love hearing all your celebrations, and I know we'll get to some more along the way as we also get to hear your shares and questions. For right now, for just clarity, I'm going to just see here if we can unraise the hands. Usually I can. That's strange.
Well, Megan is working on that piece. I just wanted to say that we are going to do our very best to get you some clarity today, especially around clarity around your niche. And so one of the company cultures that we like to do is when you have a question and your hand is raised and you get called upon, please start out with "my question is," right? So it's clear that we know that what your question is, and then you can give us a few details, and be prepared for one of the coaches potentially to cut you short. Because what's true is stories are alive and they want to be heard. And when we finally get a chance to be heard, sometimes our stories just come out. And although Megan and I want to hear all of your stories and all the places you've been in your business, these calls are really for laser coaching, using your question to train everyone in the group. So if you can, please just couch your question with "my question is," and that will help all of us. Back to you, Megan.
Thank you, Serena, for that clarity. I just lowered all the hands. So if you had your hand up, I was just doing that for clarity because those were for the shares. And if you're going to want laser coaching and you have questions, you can go ahead and raise your hand again to get back into the queue. And just really want to remind you as we dive in that your message is going to evolve. And that's part of why we're inviting you here. Because for some of you, you may be in leverage, just joined us, or you've already been in leverage for a while, and you may feel like, well, I'm pretty clear on my message, but now new things are happening. Plans that you may have had for more in-person workshops and events have shifted to online, and different messaging is really resonating with your clients. And so this is an opportunity for you to get to micro niche, to really narrow it in to see how can what you're sharing about really resonate with what people are experiencing right now in this moment in time. And for others of you who are in ELA, whether you've been in for a while or you're just joining, you may still be refining and getting clear on exactly what you're wanting to do. And that's perfect as well. So you're asking questions about that. And this is great timing to really be clear about what you can do right now to be getting attention of potential clients. And you know, one of the things that Sage always speaks to is not only to ask, what do I want to do or what do I want to say, but to also ask, what does the world need? So what is the world needing right now? And then you're beginning to overlap what you love to do with what people are willing to pay you for. And that's what Serena and I are here to give you some coaching on how we can really just fine tune it to make your message even more marketable. And Serena, what do you want to add?
The market's changing. It's always changing. Even though the world has been hit with this virus right now and things have dramatically changed, I've seen in the course of my business over the last 6 years that the world is always evolving. And so I just say that to hopefully take some of the fear around this being a uniquely urgent time for our messages. What we want to encourage you all to do is to pick a niche and then roll with it. Get curious with those clients, get curious what they need, like Megan was sharing. Find out what they need so it's easier. And if you've just joined us in one of our year-long programs, make sure that you're muted so we don't hear you eating while we're talking. Thank you so much. What we really recommend is you choose a niche and begin experimenting with it. There's no magic bullet, unfortunately, that Megan and I could give you that's gonna be perfect. You're gonna take that, you're gonna go out there and you're gonna make $1 million because we all decided in our closed group that it was a good idea. Good ideas are here to be taken out and tested with real life people. So when I first started my storytelling business, I had all of these wild ideas about who my niche was, who were my people, and why they needed storytelling. I thought storytelling was medicine. I watched how stories would change people's lives. I watched how I just loved to dive into stories. And so I brought all of that to my clients. Turns out they didn't want to spend months in the forest diving down into the soul of their story. They didn't want to imagine archetypes the way I did. What they wanted to know how to tell their personal life story. That's what they wanted. honestly, that's one of the easiest things for me to teach. I had made up this complex pantheon of what I could teach my clients, but they wanted this one simple thing. So after 12 clients, my first 12 beta clients, I switched to start offering how to tell your true life story. That has accelerated my business for the last 6 years. And now in this environment, I'm looking at the world and my clients. I'm like, why would they need to know how to tell their true life story now at this time? How would it feed them now? How would it support them now? And I'm continuing to evolve my message with the core being my passion, storytelling. So for each one of you who's here on the call, just jot down on a piece of paper, what is the anchor? What is the thing that you love to do, that you've been studying this entire time, that you know that you want to share? And then throughout this call, as you get ideas about how the thing that you want to share, the storytelling, the wellness, the purpose clarity, how that relates to people now, how it would solve a problem for them now in 2020. And keep jotting those ideas down. Because when this call is over, we're going to send you out into the world and have you talk to real life people and see if your solution is an answer for them. Throughout this call, whoever raises their hand, whoever Megan and I are supporting, remember there's something in there for you to learn from. But do be mindful to stay out of comparison, because comparison kills creativity. And each and every one of you women who's on this call has a unique gift. You've all talked to a coach already. We've already seen you, and we recognize that you have something to offer. So as women come up with ideas on this call and they're like, oh, that's amazing, I'm gonna do that. Try not to compare yourself. Stay with yourself and your genius and just allow yourself to be in a learning process.
So wise. Yes, so wise to stay out of comparison and allow yourself to be in the curiosity and the learning and this whole wonder space. So I invite you right now to start by just taking a breath, because breathing is really helpful at all times. And especially when you're looking at these like refining and what might feel like narrowing in on something, it actually helps you to get wide and expansive while you're in this space so that you can keep with the curiosity. And for some of you, you might have already been facing some resistance, some concern about choosing a niche. So I went ahead and posted on the Leverage and ELA pages on Facebook. There's a purple sticker. I will screen share here. So there's a purple sticker on the Leverage and ELA pages for 2019 and 2020 that looks like this. And it just says, post any resistance or concern you have to choosing a niche. And we would love to get to hear, what are those concerns? What are those resistances that you're coming up against as you're facing choosing a niche? For some of you, it might be a fear of just exploding. Like if you choose that niche, if you really claim this thing, you're going to get ultra famous from that. Or a fear of leaving people out. That if you're only working with this segment of the population, then you'll be leaving others out and you won't be able to serve everyone you really want to serve. And for some of you, you might have a fear of not getting to express yourself fully. A fear of feeling like this is it, you've just carved it in stone, it's a life sentence, you're never going to be able to do anything different. Like Serena was talking about, if she only works getting to teach people how to tell their personal story, she'll never get to do anything more than that with people ever again. No one will come into the forest with her and learn those deeper truths, and that is so not true. So this is the kind of fears, though, that can stop us from claiming what is going to get you your first 10 clients, your first 20 clients, what's going to get you that momentum. So for those of you who feel like you have a really big message and you want to serve thousands of people, first, you need to be willing to serve the 10 people and the 20 people to get to the thousands. So that's what today is really about. And, Rachel has given a great example of that, doubling her program, having 3 people in and now 6 people in, from staying with the message, refining that message, really standing for what she wanted to do and also what people were willing to invest in with a certification. So yes, I see you nodding. You really stuck with it. Mwah. And we're going to hop over and just see some of those fears that you're posting. And
Megan, over here on the 2020 ELA page, we've got multiple people chiming in. This is one of the big ones, ladies. If I choose a niche, I will leave people out. If I help one group of people, all of these other people will suffer. Just raise your hand if that's in your consciousness at all. If I help these people, then all those people won't get any help. Yep, I see a lot of you raising your hand. This is a really female thing, ladies. We're wired to help everybody survive, right? All the children, the grandparents, the flowers in the garden, right? Women are designed to support life. And so if that comes up for you, just look in this group. If you help one niche, all the other women can help the other people, right? You only need to do what is yours to do and stay out of overgiving. One of the other things I see on the page, Megan, Jennifer is sharing, so beautiful. She wants to help divorced women, but she's never been married or divorced. Sarah is chiming in with, yep, she's afraid to get specific. She'll leave someone behind. Here's one from Divya. Her concern is her niche is too broad. This is another point to be reckoned with, ladies. Too narrow or too broad, right? Either we're trying to help everybody or we're just trying to help a few people. So Megan and I are going to help you with some discernments about what people have invested in the past so that you can have some criteria. Catherine, fear of being able to manage her time commitments. Carly's concern, is it the right niche? Michelle, if she niches down, she's going to alienate people. Monica, yep, too narrow. Really good, ladies. Thank you. Keep posting. Visibility of what we're afraid of often helps us put it out in front of us so we can see that it's not totally true. It's just false evidence appearing real. What do you have on the leverage pages, Megan?
So I see from Michelle, resistance, supporting people with the same challenges as I may be going through and still working it out myself. Feeling like there's some doubt of will the steps work because you're still working it out yourself. That is definitely a big one. How many of you resonate with that? Like you still feel like, well, you're still kind of working it out. And yeah. Marilyn, I resist claiming my niche because I fear it's the same as some of my ELA sisters. Yes, you're pretty much guaranteed within the programs, within ELA or Leverage, to have the same niche as someone else in here. And that's actually a really good thing, because then you have niche mates. You have people who understand what you're going through. You can call them and do spring cleanings and releasing, like, oh, this is what's driving me crazy about this, or, oh, wow, I really need support with this. Oh, she knows exactly what I'm going through. And this is part of how we get out of comparison and get out of these old patterns of feeling like there can only be one of us doing it. So thank you for speaking that, Marilyn. Laura says fear of leaving people out, especially leaving out men if you only serve women. Deb Rubin, being an outcast, not belonging. Himalaya, of not being clear enough, no one will buy, that fear of no one will buy. And that's what we're here to help you with today. Like, how do you get that next level clarity? Robin, fear your niche will not translate well into an online format. So some of you may have that. You're used to doing it in person. Yes, Stephanie, my fear is not focusing on women, or by focusing on women, I will lose half of my in-person clients. And Elena, hard time choosing a niche. Phoebe, supporting others with something I'm still struggling with myself. Virio, fear of including some, but not including others. So this is a common one for sure. So I'm seeing these come up and I see more dots happening there. More of you are typing away. So keep putting in your fears. And the reason why it's so helpful to put your fears out there is you get to see just how unique those fears are. which is they're not at all. Others are sharing those same fears and moving through them. And that's part of what we're here to support you with today, is how do we move through those fears and get you to that next level of clarity. And with that, we want to talk a little bit about micro niching and the importance that people aren't looking for the solution. They're not looking for a broad solution. They're looking for their specific solution. So rather than helping women avoid burnout, you could be the mentor who helps professional women solve adrenal fatigue. See the difference? There's a mentor who supports women with burnout, avoiding burnout. You're supporting professional women with adrenal fatigue. Not just weight loss, like a weight loss coach, but being a mentor who helps women that are sick of dieting to lose weight holistically. How are you blending your values with your skills, your genius, with that specific group of people that you know you can serve? And especially for those of you who want to leverage, micro niching, honing in is what helps you get momentum. So keep in mind, these things will help set you apart. Customizing, you could say, you offer customized one-on-one sessions or virtual VIP sessions that are customized to their specific needs. Certification. And also, because certification or training. So if people want to become certified or they want to become a facilitator of something, and you can offer them a training in that way, something that they can then bring into their work in the world. That's always a really hot niche. And also people want experiences. They don't just want a bunch of content. They really want to get the experience. So how are you creating a certain kind of culture and community and experience for people? And it's also really important to be getting testimonials. So this is another thing that really helps you along the way with your niche. And even if you're really new to your work, how are you reaching out to other sisters in the group and saying, hey, let's hop on the phone and trade services for 20 minutes here or half an hour, and then give each other a testimonial. And when you get those testimonials, it really builds your authority. It doesn't mean so much anymore just to have you on camera speaking about what you know, or your blogs or your posts. People want to actually hear from the people who've been influenced by you. They want to see themselves in your clients. So how can you start taking those steps to help build momentum? And remember, it's really about your results that you're claiming that you can support people with. It's not only about creating community. So when you're creating Facebook communities, for instance, you're creating tribe. It's a wonderful place to gather people and start getting that momentum. And the community is not the thing that people will pay for. The community is what people want to be part of once they're in. So we talk about it as community sticks people. It sticks them into a program. It doesn't sell them into the program. And as women, we can often tend to be more community focused because we see the value of being in community and we see the value of gathering. But often our clients are really wanting to focus on just the result, the clear result that they're going to get. So when you're looking at your niche, also we want to be focusing on what are those clear results that you're helping people reach. And Serena, would you be willing to talk a little bit about the difference between downstream marketing and upstream marketing?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. How many of you ever paddled on a river or swam in a river before? How many? Awesome. So when you're paddling or swimming upstream, you have to work a lot harder because the water's coming down at you. But as soon as you get to the top of that stream or that river and you point yourself downstream and you start paddling or swimming, you go faster. This is the analogy between upstream and downstream marketing. When we try to give people something that we think they want, it's like swimming upstream. We're telling them how good it is. It was like my first business. I was creating kidney warmers because if you keep your kidneys warm, you have less adrenal fatigue, and you live a longer life. And I thought, since I needed one for my kidneys, everybody needed one. But I had to educate everybody about kidney chi and adrenal fatigue and why the Chinese and the Japanese keep their kidneys warm. And I had a lot of education I had to do before someone would buy one of my Haramakis. So I was working really, really, really hard. As soon as and all my clients, you know what they wanted? They didn't want to keep their bellies and their kidneys warm. They wanted to keep their wrist warm. How many of you have seen those mittens that have no fingers? They're just the little wrist warmy things. Yep, well, back in the day, I was one of the first people to create those. And that's what all my clients wanted. I created a couple and everybody wanted those. So I started selling those wrist warmers like hotcakes. People come back to me year after year. They wanted more and more. That was downstream. So for each of you ladies to consider, what do your clients want? What are they complaining about? What is the thing that they are saying they want day after day in common everyday language? As opposed to the message that you're trying to create for them. Yeah? So for example, we just pivoted our big enrollment event into how bulletproof online strategies. Now, it's not that we weren't teaching online strategies before COVID hit Santa Cruz. We were. That was part of our skill set. But we weren't showcasing it as the jump into our program, this is what you get first off, because it wasn't applicable to what was happening in the internet world. But as soon as that changed, as soon as everybody started to get online and needed to get online, we redesigned our curriculum to give that to our clients first. We started doing Facebook Lives on that. Everything started to organize about what people want right now. Does that make sense? So that's what we're suggesting for you all to look at with that kind of mind. Downstream, what do people want right now that I already know how to teach, solve, support for them? And then once they become my client, once they start investing in themselves through me and I start getting them results, then I can bring in some of this other stuff, these other tools and tricks that I have in my toolbox to give to them to support them. But first out of the gate, give them what they want. Is that helpful, Megan?
I love that. I so appreciate how you always tell a story so that we can get the visuals in our mind. This is Serena's mastery in action, how she's making it relatable to exactly what we're doing, which is what you're going to need to do with your clients as well. Sharing your genius in this refined way that's a match up for what they need. And for today, we just want to set up the coaching so that you can really get what you need. So a few things that you need to know in order to be able to land on your niche and help moving in that direction is when you're sharing with us, we don't need the entire backstory. And that's mostly because we want to be able to get to as many of you as possible. And also the backstory isn't really involved in the question. So what we need to know is just what are the niches that you're thinking about? So that's the number one thing. You might want to write that down. What are the niches I'm thinking about? And what have you done in your career up until now? So if you're already coaching, if you've already got a momentum happening, what have you been doing? And what's your passion in helping people? What are you most passionate about in helping people?
Can I add something, Megan? When we say niche, ladies, we're speaking about a face, a particular person. So it might be moms with 2-year-olds. It might be women entrepreneurs who are also healers. It might be women under 30 who are trying to put their business online. So it actually pops up a person. It's not a nebulous thing. It's an actual human being with an age, a demographic, a gender, right? Transgender people who are transitioning while working corporate, right? As specific as we can so that we start to get what we call here at Women Rocking Business passes the face test. We can actually see someone. Is that helpful? Awesome. Great. Megan, is there something else?
No, this is
niche.
great.
You said niche.
Yeah, so what niches you're thinking about and what you've kind of done up until now and what you feel like you're most passionate about in terms of helping people. So those are the things that we want to keep it to. And I really recommend, if you're in niche soup, if you feel like, I have no idea, I probably shouldn't raise my hand because everybody else knows more than me, you're the perfect one to raise your hand. So please, we want to support you in this. And those of you who just need a little refinement and just need to say, hey, I want to just toss this out. Does it pass the face test? This is a great venue to do that as well, to just have people raise their hands like, yep, I understand. I have people I can send to you. So we'll get to play with all of those different areas. And, we have just under an hour more to do some laser coaching. So ready to dive in?
Let's dive in. Can we talk to Adria first? I think I'm pronouncing it right. Professor Firestone. Hi, welcome to the call. You're going to need to unmute yourself. And of course, just tell us your name again.
There we go. Hi, I'm Adria.
Adria, welcome to the call.
Thank you. My question is, I was in niche soup and maybe not so much thanks to 2 ELA sisters.
Nice.
I was considering midlife reinvention. And because I'm there, because I've led a couple of people through that, that's my experience. But the other thing, and Anne helped me with this, she said, when I look at a camera, I get freaked out. And I said, presentation skills is so natural to me. So I'm fighting between the two, and I've been doing half of my life in presentation skills, so I've been resisting it. Resisting it in that I was on stage. But I realized that the best presentation that anyone can do is to remove all the masks. That's the only time I became an artist, was when I start removing masks. So it's about being authentic. So what popped into my head was, speak up, your life is waiting. Does that say what I'm after? Does that?
Nice. I love where you're going with this. Speak up. Your
life is waiting.
Your life is waiting. I love it. What I'm hearing clearly is you have 2 choices. Midlife reinvention, which I'm not sure what that means.
Okay.
What does it mean to reinvent? That could be people are discovering a new life purpose. They're wanting to change their job.
All of the above, yes.
It could mean that they're getting divorced and they're having to figure out their finances for the first time. So midlife reinvention, really big, and then narrowing it down would be what you need to do to move forward on that one, as my suggestion. Okay. And then the other one is around speaking up and being authentic.
Yes.
Yeah. And what I love about
comfortable on camera, comfortable on stage, because you're actually showing who you are with skills. Of course,
so you just got a lot more specific, Adria, when you said speaking on stage and speaking on camera.
On camera.
When you were saying presentation skills, I wasn't really sure. Was that PowerPoint? Is that video? But when I heard you get more specific about stage and camera,
presentation skills to me is such a boring phrase. It doesn't do anything.
Right? Right. It's a little dry.
Yeah, it's like, eh.
Yeah. Well, this is good because now you're getting to get some of it, rubber meets the road. So if today was your lucky day and you were about to walk in, you had the choice, there's 2 doors.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you got to make the choice today, because if you don't, it's like leprechauns. The doors just disappear.
Wow.
But today, door number 1 is full of these amazing women. They're in their midlife. Things haven't gone the way they wanted to, and they need to come up with a new plan. And they're in there waiting for you to help them come up with a new plan to get started. In the other door, you have women who want to get visible.
Mm-hmm.
They are needing to move forward in their business in some way. Maybe they want to do a TED Talk. Maybe they're just wanting to get on camera, and they're shaky about that. And you're going to choose which door.
yeah, it's presentation. It
Yeah.
is becoming visible, because me becoming visible without a mask of a character scares the wits out of me. It doesn't scare my heart, but it scares
Great.
my old experiences, old
Great.
patterns. Makes
Great.
me want to go, I'll
I love
hide.
it. So
And
what
I need to come out. So
Good. So what I saw when I was giving you these ideas, ladies, did you see it too? She just started nodding. It's like it was a body, like, yes. And you're
yes,
sharing further that it kind of excites and scares you. Those two
absolutely.
feelings are often in tandem.
Yep.
So beautiful, beautiful. So ladies, consider this for yourself. If you have two niches, right, just do the imagination of the two doors and see which way your body leans towards. Now, there was a question on the Facebook page of like, what happens if I'm only a few steps ahead of my clients? So Adria, you have a lot of theater background, right?
Yeah.
That you're pulling from. Great.
Yeah.
If someone comes to you without that and they're wanting something more specific, like video, they want to do videos online or whatever, it's okay, ladies, not to be a complete expert in every area of your business. Your clients will come and grow you into some of your expertise, right? Jennifer, this was a question that you had, right? We just want to be careful not to overpromise or promise results that we can't come up with.
Right.
So Adria, as you meet your clients and helping them be authentic, you're just going to find out specifically what are the results that they want.
Yes.
And if you can authentically give those to them, you're golden.
Yeah.
Thank you for starting us off with this exercise. Let's give you a big kiss.
Thank you.
Mwah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So make sure you mute yourself back up, button up your little cell. Awesome. All right,
Love it.
we have a lot of hands up, Megan.
Yep, this is what it's like on these ones.
Let's do it.
All right, Jasmine Zilla, what do you got for us? Go ahead and unmute yourself. There you go. You're unmuted. Oh, you were. What's happening? There we go.
Okay. Just have to take a breath. Thank you. Yeah, jumping back and forth. So my question is that when I get an hour free, I'm going to start my business page and a group at the same time and start live videoing and just be generous. And not really, I don't have anything else set up in the back to direct them anywhere. I just want to get input to see if people want to engage about certain various topics related to health. And I'm strong. What I do is teach people how to tap into the wisdom of their body so they can listen to what's going on before there's a breakdown typically. Or if there was a breakdown, that they can recover from it. And so it feels still general, but women leaders, healers, and the health from sleep, from times now, quarantine. Like I suddenly was thrown in to be my dad's caregiver. You know, like
Hey,
we're
Jasmine, can I pop in for a second?
Yes, yes.
I just heard you say listening to your body before breakdown. So
Yeah.
if you're really good at helping people before their train wrecks, right? I would consider looking at the niche population of people who are really needing their bodies to be in optimal health, to do what they do. People who are, I hope you're writing that down, people who are often don't think about themselves but give to other people. So the first category, who needs to have their body in optimal health? Entrepreneurs, business people, right?
Yeah.
Who are the people who often don't look up for themselves, but they give to other people? Moms, nurses, right? So when you're in your Facebook group that you're nurturing, like we talked on the call earlier, Jasmine, consider putting out some specific questions. Hey, moms, nurses, entrepreneurs, right?
Okay.
Like that. So be specific in reaching out to them. And then I want to hear what Megan has to say, but I would just consider exploring some of those people Healers would probably fall in the category of people who tend to take care of other people and not for themselves. And this question again, listen to your body before the breakdown. Listen to your body before the breakdown. How do you sustain your energy and vitality to do what you've come to do? Things like that.
Right.
Does that sound good?
Yeah,
Awesome.
thank you.
Megan, do you want to add anything to that?
I love that. And I just think this is a great example of how you can try something on, right? Try something on with your messaging in your group to reach out to start speaking to a specific population like entrepreneurs or moms and see what resonates and what lands rather than just doing the broad message like you were starting with of just health for everyone. Because when people see themselves in the message, they're more likely to click and recognize, oh yeah, that's for me. So yes, test out those messages on the population that you're most drawn to.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mwah.
Thank you.
All right. Let's see. Who's next? Natalie Farber. Let's hear from you. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yes, hello.
Hi.
Okay, so my problem is, as a cancer survivor myself, I found out that doctors don't recommend any healing modalities. So I became a functional medicine coach myself. I would like to focus on cancer people, specifically survivors like me. The way I'm thinking, people who are initially diagnosed, they're fearful, they're scared, they cannot think logically. And the ones I try talking to, they don't listen to me. They do, but then they still run to their doctors to do chemotherapy. So I feel that people like me who survived and got a second chance, they a little bit calmer, but they're still nervous about getting cancer metastatic condition in the future. So I would like to help cancer survivors to prevent the future
reoccurrence, it sounds
reoccurrence.
like.
Yes, but I cannot specify if I want to save 20-year-olds or 60-year-olds, male, female. So I don't know how to put it together. I would love your input.
Yeah. Well, I would say with a niche like this, and I'd love to hear Serena's input too, but for a niche like this, you already are being specific. So cancer survivors who are looking for health support to avoid a reoccurrence. You don't need to have a gender or an age group within that. It's already a specific group and you're just speaking to them and their health and supporting them with that. So it's not that a niche always has to be attached to a gender or an age group. That's just sometimes a helpful kind of bracket to put around it. But in your case,
may I read this to you the way I put it?
okay.
I help recent cancer survivors who feel hopeful and powerless at the same time, but want to extend quality of their lives by learning to take charge of their own health and prevent reoccurrence of the disease. But I don't feel it's.
I love it. I love it. It's a little long, like for you to get out of your mouth every time. Can I jump in?
Yeah, please.
I just already jumped in and then I asked permission. I'm like a really excited frog.
Please. Please, I'd love to.
The two things that I heard that stood out, Natalie, was extend your quality of life and stop the recurrence of the disease. Those were two like tangible results. Okay. And what I would recommend is you get curious with the people that you want to work with. Are those the two things that they want the most? Okay. Difference between upstream.
Everybody will say yes.
And downstream. Have you asked them all?
Wouldn't you want to extend your quality of life and stuff?
I love this. Well, here's the thing.
I'm not working with suicidal people.
Well, here's the thing, Natalie. If you asked your clients, potential clients, what do they want? They might say, I want to spend more quality time with my family because I know life is precious. They might say, since chemo, I don't have any sex drive left. What I really want to do is I want to make love to my husband. You don't know. So I love that you're going in the direction of extending your quality of life and stopping the recurrence. But what I'm also recommending to you and everyone else, keep staying curious. What are the things that your clients say they want the most? Okay? Because extending their quality of life, you could even be more specific about quality. That's one toss to you. The other toss I want to share is, I just worked with another woman in another program. She's a cancer survivor too. And so this is a beautiful niche because there's a lot of people out there. You also might discover, like Megan said, you don't have to choose, I'm just going to help men, I'm just going to help women. But you might discover, Natalie, that there's more women who have gone through chemotherapy than there have been men. So you might consider that's another place to niche your message down to helping breast cancer survivors or prostate cancer survivors, right? You might consider that, or even consider doing some of your promotion specifically targeting men with prostate, women with breast cancer, just so you can start to speak more directly to your clients. Does that make sense?
Well, then let me ask you this. I had kidney cancer. Does that mean I would be more successful talking to kidney? The program that I'm offering will help any type of cancer. So like you were mentioning before, we don't want to leave anybody behind.
Right,
But,
I get that's your mission, which is probably why I'm speaking to, yes, start here and pay attention, stay curious how you might want to micro niche, because you really want to stand out in the market. Like you said, people with cancer end up running to their doctors. They end up running to, to their doctors because they're scared. So for you to establish your credibility and to establish, to help yourself stand out in the market, you might just want to niche down a little bit. So it's something to consider, okay? Okay. Awesome, big kiss for you.
Thank you.
I love how strong-minded you are. No wonder you survived. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I just want to highlight one thing you said, Serena, that everyone can really benefit from here is when you're talking about that frontline marketing of reaching out to a specific segment of the population, like breast cancer survivors or prostate cancer survivors. That doesn't mean that you have a group that's necessarily only for breast cancer survivors. It means that you might do some Facebook posts or even boosted ads to direct people to your groups, to direct people to trainings or videos that relate to that. And then they become part of a larger group, a larger collective. So for any of you that have that, where you feel like you help people that have some different things like, immune challenges, for instance, like autoimmune challenges, there can be different things, or, we have people that do hormone issue support, and there's different lead-in causes that people are aware of. You can do some special teachings on those things to help attract clients. So that's for you, Natalie, but also for everyone to just start getting curious about. You gonna add, Serena?
No, that was really thorough. Let's take Dara Daniels.
Yes.
Dara Daniels, actually.
Dara.
Okay, thank you so much. So my question is, I'm wanting to focus on supporting people with their diet and regaining their health through food primarily. And so one niche I was considering is people with some kind of chronic health challenge or condition. And my question is, in terms of the health niche, is it necessary? Like I'm having resistance going towards a specific like health challenge and kind of disease category, because kind of fundamentally I stand behind kind of holistic medicine and treating the person, and not necessarily like, I don't want to go towards promising results for a particular condition. And so I'm wondering how else I can kind of narrow down the niche of like people that just everyone wants to get healthy, right? So how do I kind of focus in on that?
Dara, can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
What are you afraid of? If you choose a specific niche, someone who has chronic health challenge?
I guess I would be afraid of not being able to produce results and promise, you know, being free from a particular symptomology, just because I don't have that particular experience. But I know that I can deliver inspiration and like easy how-to and kind of get people motivated. Like, I feel like that's where my strength is.
Awesome.
So just
Awesome.
wondering
That's
if
really
that's specific enough.
Beautiful, beautiful. Raise your hand, ladies, if you have some of this, also this fear that if you promise for something specific and you don't get results, your clients aren't going to trust you, believe in you, they're going to quit. Yeah. I just want you to know, Dara, you're not alone. Like, this is a common thing that comes up with niching.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that we recommend is to look in your history.
Mm-hmm.
What are the results you've gotten up until now that you can stand confidently with?
Mm-hmm.
And then keep moving forward and adding more skills, more results to your programs. So, Dara, I'm just curious, like, who have you helped up until now with some of your diet, food suggestions?
Well, mostly it's been just friends and family, because what I've actually done to make money is body work.
Yeah.
So
with your friends and your family that you've helped, right? Have you cured anyone of a cold, of the flu? Have you helped anyone get through pregnancy? Like in your background, can you find any places where you have some experience?
Gosh, I don't really know. Nothing. The only thing that's standing out recently is, you know, sharing just like a really easy kind of snack for blood sugar, and like sharing about goji berries and this like kind of little snack combination I came up with, and shared with a older woman friend of mine, and she's like, you changed my life, you know, like came back and was like, I eat that every day, and also gave her like Chinese herbs for her arthritis in her knee, and she's like, when I do these things that you told me, I'm not in pain anymore. And so that's one success, but it's
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Good. So this is the right track. So what I want to encourage you to do after this call is keep brainstorming different people that you've helped with different remedies, right? And see if there's a trend. Because right off the bat, like when you said the snack for the blood sugar, I wanted to eat it, first of all.
Oh yeah, I want to know what it is.
And second of all, like, you can extrapolate, right? Brain food. 10 ways to keep your blood sugar even so you can think straight, get a good night's sleep, and not argue with your partner. I don't know, right? Begin to think about that as a possibility of how you can keep, I just lost it because now I'm thinking about goji berries.
I know. We need brain food.
Yep. The number one thing I wanted to share is to look in your history. And that's true for all of you ladies. Look in your history of where you've had small successes and results and see if there's a theme. Okay, and not everyone's going to get their niche as clear as mud today on the call, because you all have a solid hour with your coach this month or next month to help you. But Dara, I want to send you on that track, okay? And really honor that you're not wanting to overpromise, right? I really love that. Let's give you a big kiss.
Thank you.
Wow.
All right, I'm so curious what Megan has to say to Jennifer. Can we go to Jennifer down here?
Yes.
Awesome. I know a little bit about Jennifer, but I want to hear what you have to say.
Which one? There's a couple Jennifers.
Jennifer
Wyszynski.
All right. Oh, Jennifer, yes.
Hi. So my niche is for divorced women, and I want to divorced women that want to reinvent themselves. So, like, I'm not a therapist, I'm not even a coach, but so I don't want to do somebody that just came out of a divorce, because, you know, I can't do the messy stuff, I don't think. I can do like the reinventing and your mindset and a makeover and movement, you know, things like that. and maybe do crystal healing or color healing or something, or healing of their marriage jewelry. Because my main expertise is the marriage jewelry and reinventing marriage jewelry.
Right.
But in order to create a program so I can kind of expand, you know, I wanted to do something where I can reinvent the woman to create confidence. Like from some of my interviews, they wanted confidence. They wanted to find themselves after the divorce, because maybe they lost themselves or lost their happiness because they've been taking care of everybody else and things like that. So, so I was wondering if I needed to micro niche that at all, or.
I think it already is. I mean, your micro niche is women that are divorced and they're in that window of reinvention and reclaiming themselves.
Right.
So one of the images that came to mind was a program that's based around self-matrimony, and like this putting yourself at the center of your world again and loving yourself, prioritizing yourself, and that the jewelry is, you know, one of the most valuable pieces of that you're going to be doing with them in this remaking, but that it can be wrapped into an experience at the completion of the program where they're putting it back on, reclaiming and marrying themselves and committing to themselves. And through that, you'll also be getting to look at like ways they've abandoned themselves along the way, ways they've overridden, and doing some of that work. But I hear that you don't want to necessarily go into the deep, dark depths. So that keeps it like on the lighter side of
Yeah,
things.
more of a lighter, happier, you know, carefree kind of, you know.
Light, happy divorce work. Yeah.
Right. And then the fact that I've never really like coached somebody or whatever, like, where do I start like finding, or just post in groups, or
Where do you start finding what?
To start finding people to try and do like some beta testing, or because I have no proven results. It's just something that I'm creating, you know.
So what I recommend for you, Jennifer, and for all of you is to start with the Niche Clarity Workbook or Niche Mastery Workbook, where you're getting to go through those kind of questions. And then part of that is also doing your ideal client interviews. So you're reaching out to some people maybe in the program here that, hey, who here has gone through divorce that would be willing to chat with me and answer some questions about this, so that you can get their words. Because as Serena's been pointing to with the last few people, it's really about, you know, what are the words your clients are using, your potential clients are using.
Yeah, I did a few so far. I need to do a couple more.
Yeah, like 10 to 20 is great.
Yeah.
So.
Can I add something?
3 or 4. Yeah, please.
I love this idea of self-matrimony, Megan, for Jennifer. That's really awesome. And I totally 100% agree with Megan. Like, this is niche down. And I just want to ask you about that fear, about the messy emotional.
Just because I've never experienced that, so I'd feel like a fraud trying to say, you know, don't feel that way. No, just trying to get. Go
have
ahead.
you ever sat with a friend who has lost something really important in their life? Someone's died in their family. They've lost their job. They've had a breakup, a really hard breakup of some kind. Have you ever been with someone through that process?
No.
Okay. So Jennifer, with total love, this is going to be an area where you're going to get to do some self-study. Because like Megan was suggesting, when people get divorced, right, it's an end of a dream. It's going to be really hard for you to find enough divorced women who want to go through this program, who are all like totally through it already, that don't have sadness, bitterness, anger, resentment, right? Now, it doesn't mean that you have to stay in that with them forever, or that's the biggest part of your program, is sort of the like shadow emotional side. But to not address it with that particular niche, I see that as a potential danger zone for you. So what you might want to do, along with what Megan was saying with the potential client interviews, is when you ask your women about what they're struggling with, what's the mindset they want, how they want to reinvent themselves, you might ask them about their emotional world. Like, are there any unresolved feelings they have with their ex? And see if you can sit with that with them. See if you can create something for them to have a say about that. There's a couple different coaching books out there in our Rolodex. For those of you on this call who are not a coach, who want to learn how to coach, I just want to say it's totally possible. It's totally possible. I didn't have any coaching experience before I started with Women Rocking Business. I just had a deep desire to be with people, and I learned skills along the way, but I had to be actively doing that. So Jennifer, I just want to recommend you get a hold of that.
Okay.
Do some interviews with other divorce coaches, like just do your homework around that so that you can like open up the doors to any way you might be resisting your clients coming to you. Because anytime we're like, I want my clients, but I don't want to deal with their emotions, or I want these clients, but I don't want to deal with their finances, right? We're doing this.
Right.
I want to receive their money, but I don't want to ask them for it. And this is something I did for the whole first year of my business. Just like this all the time. Like, I want clients, but I don't want to be so intimate. I want clients, but I don't want you to project your stuff on me. Eventually, right, it just becomes different. Your capacity grows. And when we start off on a journey, our capacity may not be as wide as it is after our clients come to us and help widen those gaps. So Jennifer, I see lots of potential for you in this. I see your passion, and I see that you have so many skills to make this happen. So just study up on the coaching bit and the emotional piece, and then come back and we'll support you some more, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
Awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Big kiss for you. All right, Megan, who's next?
All right. How about Robin Spence?
Hi, Robin. Welcome to the call.
Thank you. Hi, it's Robin Spence, and I just wanted to ask, my question is whether I should just focus on women or include men. What I do is work with women who are struggling with their fertility, and but within that, there are men who struggle with fertility, and I support couples who go through IVF. Initially, this was something I wasn't going to micro niche on because my bread and butter work is weight loss. I'm a hypnotherapist and a nutritionist. But after talking with Shana, that is what I enjoy doing. And I have a small group of clients that I work with, and she explored perhaps making that my niche, which I've agreed to do because it is the work I enjoy. So it's just whether I can include men, or should I just, in terms of niching, or really just focus on women?
What do you want to do?
Yeah, that's a good question, because I do enjoy working with both, but it could become complicated because it is complex work. No, I'm not pushing back. It's
no, I was just referring to I want to work with them, but it could be complicated.
Well, the gender thing is quite funny, and around IVF and predominantly we all focus on women, but there are a lot of men who do have problems, or people come as a couple, and it turns out it's not the woman who is preventing the pregnancy, it's the man. So is this a couple I turn away, or?
Well, my thought is, there's a lot of different scenarios in IVF, that it might be someone who's coming single and wanting to have a baby, or it might be people that are coming as a couple and wanting to have a baby. But if you just want to support people through the IVF journey, then that could be a niche in and of itself. And then people are coming to you for that support.
Yeah, well, and I do have 3 or 4 single women who I'm working with now, who are doing the journey on their own. So I am currently doing that. It's just whether to make it exclusively women. Is that a smart thing to do, or open it up to couples?
I'd recommend you do one thing at a time.
Okay.
So if you are working with single women right now and they're coming to you, keep working there.
With
couples.
women. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if couples start showing up on your doorstep, right, and they're wanting to work with you, and you're finding that the complications that you have skills to work through that, whether it's complications in communication, gender issues, whatever, and you can work through that with them and you're enjoying it, then you can keep going. Absolutely. You know, sometimes, Robin, we set out with an idea of who we think our clients are because we have this skill set, and then these other people keep showing up. And then we're like, why do they keep showing up? It's because those are actually your ideal clients.
Yeah.
So some of it is just taking it out for a test drive. But what I'm hearing is single women. That's the majority of your clients right now. Is that right?
No, women.
Women, just women. Okay,
But
great.
it just because Megan said, you know, perhaps single women, I have it, women is the predominance.
And it could just
But
be
I have
women.
a few couples I'm working with, and I will continue to work with them. But in terms of how I market myself in terms of groups,
Yeah. Are you an ELA
is it
or
better?
leverage?
Leverage. So is it better to really market myself to one particular group? Because I know nothing about the online space. And so
Right.
this is all new for me because I'm used to working in a clinical setting or one-to-one.
My experience, Megan, I'd love to hear what you say about this. My experience is anytime one of our clients has picked a niche where two people would have to agree on the investment, so couples, a child and a parent have to agree, right? That there may be a slower enrollment process because you have both of them to agree at the same time. When you're working with one client, it's one discovery session, it's one person's issues. It is just a choice, Robin. Like, how do you want to do that? That's why I asked you, what do you want? Like, are you really pulled to work with couples and make sure that couples are really clear about what they want? Do they want a child? Do you like helping them do that? Is that something that brings you joy? Or
working with people who want to have a baby, that brings me joy. But again, I think what I'm trying to do is sort of stick what I do into your format, and that's what I struggle with. You know, is this something I can do online? Is it, you know, I work with whoever comes to me, but trying to sort of do this kind of group thing and online, it confuses me because I've not done it before.
Great, so we're just gonna, go ahead, Megan.
I was just going to ask, so is it how you support them through like hypnotherapy work and tools like that?
If they're coming for preparation for a baby, I would support them through, you know, preparing their body nutritionally. And if there are blocks, because they have what we call, you know, no reason that they should not be getting pregnant, and they've already been to a doctor and had that assessed, then it may be a block. So then I use hypnosis. So it's a whole program of different things depending on their needs.
Yeah, so for you, I would look at what would, you know, in walking the steps of the program and that idea of what are the steps you'd be taking people through. It may be that you just want to focus on working with women and hone in on that. And then there could be aspects where at some point in the program, if someone has a partner, then, you know, if there's a private session or something like that, you could bring that person in for a session with them, but it doesn't have to be the whole premise of the program.
Right, okay.
That may be an easier, just honing in, narrowing in, like Serena said, the ease of having one person committing to the program to start with.
Yeah, that's a very good point about the agreement that I hadn't considered. So it's just how to, you know, market within the online format that troubles me because I've not done that. And
one step at a time, one step at a time. Yeah, one step at a time. I love what Megan's suggesting, Robin, for you. And it's what we were suggesting for everyone is to pick one niche, work with some clients, form your message. You can always evolve it as you go on, right? So is this good enough for now, Robin?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your question. Really appreciate it. Let's give you a kiss.
Thank
I
you.
love how velvety your voice is. It's really amazing. Let's go to Carly. I can't say anyone's last name. Corrado?
Yeah, Corrado.
Corrado. Oh, got it. Hi, Carly. Welcome to the call.
Hi, thank you.
What's your question?
So I would love support to hone in on my niche. And so I help create team coherence and create psychological safety and give techniques to have more fun and be more playful when doing innovative, cutting edge, purpose-driven work.
Nice.
Yeah, I love it.
Cool.
Yeah, it sounds like you work with purpose-driven companies, helping them to have creative, cohesive teams.
Yeah, look at how that just rolls off your tongue.
Well, you gave me all the content. I just flipped it around.
Creative, cohesive teams.
Because we want to have statements that are really easeful to say. And I could see that you're digesting it as you're saying it.
Yeah.
It's you, and that's great to try it on. And how can you practice this enough that it feels like, oh, this just rolls out. This is what I do. This is what I do. How's that?
Yeah, that feels really good. Purpose-driven companies. So one of the things I've been struggling with is working marketing, creating things for a team, but then I've just actually inspired on the call when you said it needs to be for one person. So I'm thinking, oh, maybe I need to pivot to really be looking at the leader, who I would say high achieving, purpose-driven leader, and then who's working on optimizing their team, which
I love it. I love it. So managers, leaders, CEOs, small business owners, those are specific. And I just wanted to get clear, it doesn't have to be one person to market to one person. It doesn't have to be. It's just be prepared if there's more than one person that has to buy in on an investment, like people buying houses, right? If a couple is buying a house, the couple has to buy in on making that investment. So the time for them to make that decision may be a little bit longer because they both have to agree. And there may be problems along the way if they don't agree that they want to spend their money on a house together. So that's where enrollment can kind of break down. There are lots of people out there who do couples counseling. We have a lot of successful clients who also enroll children and their parents into programs together. So it's totally possible. You just have to be mindful of that process of enrollment. So for you, Carly, as you're looking at who might need my services, right? Managers, teams, CEOs, small business owners who want these playful, cohesive teams like Megan was suggesting. That's a great idea. You don't have to totally know who they are yet, but those are some of the niche, the people in your niche that we can imagine for you, right? People who have teams.
Yeah. So I've had some recent experience working with smaller organizations that are purpose-driven. And I actually got my first real, a 6-month contract with a badass organization today.
Congratulations.
So that's huge. That's taking a step forward. But I'm still really breaking through to be comfortable to start posting things on LinkedIn.
Yeah. So Carly, tell us, who is the company? Like shoe company?
So they're called Carbon 180. So they're $1.5 million nonprofit helping create carbon sequestration, soil, stuff like that, which is actually fully up my alley. So they're kind of a dream, ideal company.
So here's one of the things you can do, Carly. When you start working with them and they're getting results with you and you all are falling in love with each other, right? Ask them, what other organizations do they know that might need your services? Okay, it's a great question to ask. If they're in the industry of nonprofits, they probably know some of the other nonprofits, maybe other nonprofits that have a budget to hire someone like you. So just ask them who they know, and that's a great way to get the word around. Okay? Yeah, super exciting. Let's give you a kiss.
Wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome. How about Alicia? Alicia Rodman? Welcome
Rodman.
to the-
Hi, everyone. I'm Alicia Rodman. And my question is, well, anyway, this is what I'm going to say after I say my question is, I'd love to, on page 17 of this niche clarity, it has basically putting together your mission statements. I want to make sure it makes sense. I am no longer in niche soup, thanks to Shannon, and this is where I am. Here it goes.
Great.
I may not sound passionate about this, but I totally am. I'm just trying to get to the point. I coach 40 plus, well, women over 40. I coach women over 40. No, I coach professional Black leading ladies over 40 working in professions in which they feel unsatisfied and unfulfilled, who feel disconnected, to find purposeful and soul connected career and business path, so she can answer her alarm clock of destiny and live the life she desires. So I'm just having trouble with
Woo! I love it. What do you think, Megan? The alarm clock of her destiny. I love that metaphor. So good.
I love it. Yes, it's so good. And I would just invite you to bring it back to a little bit of a shorter statement so that you have ease of saying it again and again to people.
You can tell I'm struggling, right?
Well, you've got all the creative juice of it. Like, this is a great vision for you to really understand, how is this going to infuse your social media posts and like your Facebook lives and things like that. Like, this is all going to be part of it, but just narrowing it down. And so this actually brings us to a really great piece here. I want to share my screen if it will work. Because I just made this post of exactly what you're talking about. There we go. On the pages, post a mission statement. I work with the group to create the result, fill in the blank, so they can, and then the problem that you solve or benefit from. So here's where you want to just be posting right underneath this purple sticker here. I'm going to come back to you so I can see you. For you, Alicia, posting there, and for everyone, posting there so that Serena and I can go in and comment. Serena will be on the ELA page, and I'll be on the leverage page making comments on your mission statements, so that we're really seeing that clarity of what are you landing on. So for you, Alicia, I would just recommend when you post that to see how can you just hone it in a little bit shorter.
Okay, but the words make sense, like you.
Totally.
Oh, that's so.
Yeah, I totally have faces pop to mind, and yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it's really powerful that you were naming what Black female leaders are up against, right? Mm-hmm. They don't feel fulfilled. They're wanting to live on purpose. Maybe they're in dead-end jobs. Maybe there's been, they've been suffering because of who they are and how bold they are and how beautiful they are. And they've just been like, and they're just like, no, you are the perfect coach for them. Absolutely. Absolutely. And what I love about this that's so different than your 2-minute video that you posted is this is like, this is more specific as to the result, right? Yeah. People invest in being on purpose.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. That's what the coaching did. That's what the coaching did. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome. Big kiss for you. Ladies, do go over to, yes. Do go over to the Facebook page now or right before we get off this call, because that formula that Megan just posted is going to help you pull some of your ideas and all the language and all the way down into a formula that's repeatable. And remember, ladies, this is going to be refined. You don't want to spend months on your what do I do statement. No. You're going to give it your best shot with this formula, and then you're going to keep on rolling, right? Bring it to your coach. Try it on one of your buddies. Get it out of your mouth and let it keep evolving. But the idea is that it's going to be a statement to help you. If you're at a networking event, you're posting someplace and someone goes, what do? You have a formula that has tangible results in it. It has people that you help, so there's a face test. So make sure you do post there, the best of your ability. There's no grading in this class. And then keep on working on it. All right, Megan, who should we talk to next?
All right, I think we have time for one or two more. Let's hear from Julie. Julie Aird.
Hey, Julie, welcome to the call.
Hi, thank you for taking my
Oh, no. Your Wi-Fi connection is super wobbly.
So my question is, yes. Oh shoot.
Oh, maybe just turn off your video and see what happens,
Can you
Julie.
hear me? No?
Yeah, now try it.
How's that?
Okay, great.
Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me?
Yes, what's the niche you want to run past us?
So it's actually it's just been shifting in the last week. It was very similar to what Alicia just shared. Basically, women in sucking jobs who were unfulfilled, and to create confidence,
Julie, I'm thinking
clarity, and a career that they really want.
Julie,
and
it's just
was Shannon last week, and we both, well, I got really clear that I don't necessarily.
I don't know what's
Can you hear me?
Julie, yeah, it's not being clear enough through your internet connection. So I would say just go ahead and post it, what you're coming up with now, underneath that purple sticker, and then we're happy to give you some laser coaching on that. But unfortunately, it's just not clear enough through the connection right now. Sorry about that. But we're happy to do it through text that way.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
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 For these calls, if at all possible, if you can get yourself hardwired into the wall. Sometimes Ethernet, especially if you're calling from a long distance, they get really wobbly. I always have myself hardwired in for these calls because it just helps the connection, especially since there's so much Zooming happening right now and the airways are so full. So if you can do that, that would be super helpful. And Julie, we will get to your question on the Facebook page. Sorry about that, love. Megan, do we have time for one more quick one?
Sure. Yes.
Okay.
Who do you want to grab?
Just know that if we call on you next, we're going to get to the heart of the matter. So if you have thin skin, this isn't for you. This is for someone who just like wants some really quick laser coaching. All right, that's what I thought. Vario. Awesome. So what if we could answer one thing for you about your niche, what would it be, love?
Is this specific enough? Midlife, I work with midlife spiritual women who want more sacred, pleasurable, solo sex so they can be confident and unfuckwithable.
I love it! That is nice and specific. I love it. I love it. Here's one toss for you. How do you say your name? I'm sorry.
Vireo sounds like Cheerio, but with like vulva.
Vireo.
A V.
Thank you, Vireo. I love it. The one thing I would recommend you be mindful is labeling your clients midlife. This goes for all of us. A woman in, a woman in midlife myself, I just don't identify as that. Call it denial, call it whatever. Like, I just don't identify myself as midlife. It's not like the way I label myself. So for you, you may know that your marketing is going towards women in midlife or women 45 to 65. That's great. But in your top marketing, don't use that language, okay? We always want to use language in our top marketing that elevates our clients. So you could say experienced women. You could say women wealthy in spirit. You could say sexy and experienced, right? Think of different creative ways to identify your clients without putting them into an age bracket. Does that make sense?
I love that. Yeah, and my clients actually are they had like 56 of them were from age 25 to 67.
Exactly. Awesome.
So, okay.
Awesome.
Cool.
So just get creative with that. Love that. Thank you for being open for that like laser coaching. Let's give you a big kiss.
Mwah.
Nice.
Love it. All right. So as we wrap up, I just want to remind you, it does not matter which path you choose. It matters that you stay on a path, that you choose one. Your niche is going to evolve. You're going to get to find out more as you do these ideal client interviews. I do recommend that you go ahead and look at the message clarity workbook and niche clarity workbook so that you can get more support with that. And also booking a session with your coach. So if you haven't already booked, if you're a brand new client and you haven't booked your hour-long Jumpstart session, go ahead and do that. And if you're a client who's staying on and this is the start of your new year, also go ahead and book your hour-long Jumpstart session. So booking that time with your coach to really laser in and get that support is going to be super helpful for you. And also next week, we have the Q&A calls for all of you who are just starting your year. So that'll be next Tuesday for Leverage 2020 and next Wednesday for ELA 2020. So just make sure you've got those in your calendar. There'll be more Q&A time. And I know that we're so excited to get to support you this year and having clarity and taking action. So as your next action, remember, go and post underneath that purple sticker, what is your message clarity as it stands right now? Doesn't mean it's carved in stone forever and it's only going to be that way. But for right now, what do you know about your message and about your niche? We want to get to hear from each and every one of you so that we can support you in that refinement. Anything you want to add, Serena?
I'm just looking over here on the Facebook page and watching these pop up.
Yes.
Really nice work, ladies. It has been an honor to be with you, and I realize that we haven't gotten to all the hands that are up, and I just want us all to take a big breath in together. Can let it out with the sound. Let's do it one more time. Let's breathe in. Let it out with the sound. Megan and I and the coaches are devoted to being with you for the entire year, ladies. Please note that this year is going to unfold, and each and every step you take, big or small, towards getting clarity is going to matter. Every time you post on Facebook, every time you stick up your hand, every time you wait patiently for your question to be answered, we're going to be with you here all year. So please don't stop breathing in a race to the end. Breathe all along the way, because what they say is the journey that matters, not the outcome. If you are in niche soup, the best thing that we can share with you today is to go to your niche clarity mastery program that you all have and really work that book. Work it like a workbook. And then bring that to your next coaching session for more clarity. And then on your first call, bring your questions and keep working it. For many of you, it's going to take you anywhere from 1 to 3 months to really get clear on your niche and your marketing message. So just hold that, right? It can happen faster for some of you who've had experience. It may take a little bit longer for some of you who've never had a paying client, but that's the range that we're looking at. We're looking at an evolution, a refinement, a blossoming. So stay with it, don't give up on yourselves, and at any point between now and then, talk to people, talk to real life people. If you see, oh, that's right, we're in quarantine. Between now and then, if you're in a Facebook group, if you're on a phone with a girlfriend, if you are sending pen pal letters to someone far away, and they may potentially be your potential client, have a conversation with them. 15 minutes, ask them what they're struggling with and what they want. That will help you get clear on your marketing message and who those people are. Anyone who comes into your life is a perfect person to have a few questions about your potential client interview. Megan, it's been an honor to be here with you today. I always learn so much from you, not just in the answers that you give, but the way that you give them and the way you deeply reflect on what's really up for these ladies. They're really lucky to have you.
Thank you, Serena. Taking that in, and as always, such a joy. I just noticed myself smiling throughout the whole call, getting to witness you and your genius. And ladies, this is an example of what it looks like to be in aligned work and in service in the world, how Serena, how you show up. Really being able to laser in and support with your fine tuning is so masterful. So thank you for joining us today, getting to support us.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, ladies, we'll see you very soon. All of you who are just joining in for the start of your year, we'll see you next week on the Q&A calls. And I lead the All Access call. It's just shifting. The All Access call will happen on the third Tuesday a month at 2 p.m. Pacific. And generally, these calls are open with all kinds of questions that you might come with. So today was a little different. We were honing in on niche, but just know you can put that on your calendar to have extra Q&A support, and we have got you. Like Serena said, this is a journey the whole year. So keep breathing, keep moving, and I invite you to let yourself expand right now before we actually hop off the call. How big can you get? How much space can you take up? You know, we're taught to like take little sips of breath and stay small and tight and hunched over typing and on our phones, and all of that is it's not a match for what's inside of us. So I invite you to let yourself match what's inside of you, what's moving through you, what's coming through you. And this is just the beginning. So let yourself keep moving with that as you hop off the call and into whatever the rest of your day holds. Mwah. Have a beautiful rest of your day, rest of your week.
Thank you.